Ever looked at a legal document and felt like you were trying to read another language? Well, today that's exactly what we're going to do. We're decoding the language of the law, starting with one of its most fundamental and, yeah, kind of intimidating pieces, the legal citation.
Okay, let's just put it right out there. This is a real legal citation. Take a second to look at that. It's a whole jumble of names, numbers, brackets. It's a lot, right? Definitely looks like a mouthful at first glance.
Honestly, it looks like a secret code, doesn't it? But here's the thing. It's not. I promise. And in the next few minutes, you and I, we're gonna crack this thing wide open, together.
So here's the key. Every single legal citation, it's a map. Seriously, it's a perfect set of coordinates that tells you the who, what, when, and where of a legal case. And having this standard format is absolutely crucial. It means any lawyer, any judge, any student, anywhere in the world can find the exact same document. There's no room for error, no ambiguity. It's this tiny little thing that helps keep the whole legal system consistent.
Okay, you ready to crack the code? Let's start breaking this map down piece by piece. We're gonna see how each little part gives us a super important clue.
And here's our plan of attack. We're going to look at the parties, the year, the volume, the report, the page, and finally, the court. Let's jump right in with step 1.
All right, first up, the parties. Pretty straightforward, right? This is all about who is actually involved in this legal battle. So that first name you see, Prince, that's the person or group who started the whole thing. They're the one who brought the case to court in the first place.
And that tiny little V in the middle, that's just a classic abbreviation for versus or against. It's basically the dividing line between the two sides. Then, on the other side of that V, you've got the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development and others. This is the party being challenged, the one on the defense. It could be anyone really, a person, a whole government department, you name it. Okay, cool. So we've got the who. Now, let's figure out the context. The next part of the citation tells us when this all went down and where the decision was made. See that year in brackets, 2017? Super straightforward, but also incredibly important. It tells you the exact year the judgment was made. And you have to know this, because law is always changing, right? A case from 2017 means something very different than a case from like 1917. And then we get to the where. Those letters at the very end, WCC, that's just the abbreviation for the court that heard the case. Here, it's the Western Cape High Court. And knowing which court it is, that's a big deal. It tells you how much authority the decision carries.
All right, so we've got the who, the when, and the which court. The last part of this whole code is basically the physical address. It tells you precisely where to find the full text of the judgment, just like finding a book in a massive library. That all SAP part, think of that like the name of a book series. It stands for the All South African Law Reports. It's the specific published collection where you'll find this case. So now you know which shelf to even start looking on. Now, these reports publish a ton of cases, so they split them up into different volumes every year. That number 2 just tells us that our case is in the second volume that came out in 2017. Simple as that. And last but not least, the page number, 864. This is it, the exact page in volume 2 of the All South African Law Reports where the case report begins. It's the final coordinate in our address, leading you to the exact spot.
Okay, we've done it. We've broken down every single piece of that code. Now, let's put it all back together and see what we've got.
Just look at that. On the one hand, you have what we started with, this intimidating, cryptic line of text. But now, you know it tells a whole story. It means the case of Prince versus the Minister of Justice, decided in 2017, published in Volume 2 of the All South African Law Reports, starting on page 864 and heard in the Western Cape High Court. The who, the when, the where, it's all right there. No longer a secret.
And honestly, that's the whole trick. The crucial point is you now have the key. You can look at any legal citation and not be intimidated, because now you know how to read the map.
You know, this is about more than just reading a reference. It's about getting access to the actual stories, the real decisions that shape the world we live in. So the only question left is, now that you can read the map, what stories are you going to go uncover?